Hello everybody and welcome to today's tropical update. It is June 22nd, 2020 and it is about 6 p.m. at EST at the time of this recording. And today's video will be mostly, if not all, on subtropical depression 4 here. It's way up there in the North Atlantic here. And here's the details. This is at 5 p.m. AST, which is pretty much Eastern Daylight Time. Its maximum sustained winds of 35 miles per hour. Minimum sensory pressure is 1,009 millibars. It is located at 38.2 north, 65.7 west, and it is moving east-northeast at 8 knots or 9 miles per hour. Now, what amazes me here is, over the course of the last 24 hours, some drastic changes have happened with the system. Because what it did is once it got north of the Gulf Stream waters, it practically, the low level center, the previous one dissipated and a new low level center formed lower south, more south of the center of where the previous center was. So that's why it's back over 25-26 degrees Celsius waters of the Gulf Stream. And as you know, you need about 26-25 degrees to sustain at least a subtropical system, which it is in right now. And here's the advisory here. Subtropical depression forms well offshore of the U.S. East Coast, forecast to move away from land. Here is the public advisory here once it loads up here. Alright, here is the going-ons with this system. It's about 310 miles southeast of Nantucket, Massachusetts, about 455 miles south-southwest of Halifax, Nova Scotia. And we all know this is 35 mile per hour winds. Present movement east-northeast or 75 degrees if you guys like to use your guys' compass movements. That's where it's going. And central pressure is 1,009 millibars. Here we go. Maximum sustained winds are near 35 miles per hour with higher gusts. And this is important here because this is what determines if it's going to become Dolly tonight. Some slight strengthening is possible tonight and early Tuesday, and a subtropical depression could briefly become a subtropical storm. So, yes, this morning, when we all woke up, we didn't think this storm had any more of a chance anymore because of it moving north of the Gulf Stream. But as you guys know, a miracle for the system happened, and now here we are with this subtropical depression, which is amazing. We sat here and literally watched with our very own eyes a system defining the odds. You do not see that very often, and I think it's a beautiful thing when it actually happens. Alright, let's see here. Sorry, my internet's a bit slow. We just got hit with a thunderstorm not too long ago, making our stuff slow. Anyways, here is the forecast discussion if it does not freeze on me. And what I really want to focus on is right in here, because 12 hours from now it has this being subtropical storm Dolly, which I do think it will be before that. I do think before or at the 11 p.m. advisory we could see subtropical storm Dolly from this. Do I think it can go above 40 miles per hour? It's iffy. I'm gonna give it 45, but I think it's not gonna go anywhere over that. I do not think. Alright, we're gonna take a look at the forecast cone here before we move on to the satellite imagery. And here is the forecast cone. This was where it was an hour ago, and it's moved about 9 or 10 miles to the east since then. And this is I would say about 5 a.m. tomorrow on Tuesday. And it looks like it's going to keep a subtropical depression status for a while, even in these very cold waters, which are like near freezing over here. So having a tropical depression in those cold waters is pretty amazing in my opinion. Anyways, here is the IL loop here, and as you can see, you know, in the last couple of the frames here, it's trying to wrap itself around itself here. And as you can see, we got some outflow here, we got some outflow there, we got some outflow here. So this is looking like a pretty good subtropical depression, in my opinion. As you guys know, subtropical systems are not supposed to look pretty, at least from what I've heard. But yeah, I mean, for what it's worth, this is looking like a pretty good subtropical depression with some outflow channels here. And as you can see, you know, this convection here is trying to wrap around itself. Once this fully wraps around itself, that's when it's going to be a subtropical storm, in my opinion. But we're going to have to wait another 6 or so hours before that happens. Here are current statuses for the system. Let me refresh this here real quick, see if we got the latest information, and we do. They finally, Tropical Tidbits finally changed this to Subtropical Depression 4. And we've already went over all of this. The environmental pressure is 1,015 millibars, radius of circulation 180 nautical miles, radius of maximum wind at 60 nautical miles. And, you know, here's where it's going to be going here. As you guys can see from these little pictures here. So it looks like it's going to stay on course as it was. Now this is what I want to look at here real quick. Because, you know, it does show most of the miles staying below tropical storm status. But now that I'm looking with my very own eyes, the forecast cone for this system, I do believe that this will become a tropical storm, or a subtropical storm, excuse me, within the next 6 to 12 hours. And that can be seen here for 1, 2, 3, 4 models. This is, I think the COTI is an outlier, so we're not going to really pay attention to that. But we got a few models that take it into tropical storm status here. Now, you know, I don't show this a whole lot, but we're going to take a look at the wind shear here for this system. And as you can see, this is our system right in here. This swirl of clouds right here. And as you can see, the wind shear is green, which, you know, green means go. So, you know, the wind shear isn't going to cause us any grief. That I'm sure of. And as you can see, it's pretty much green wherever it goes, pretty much, besides this little area, which I'm sure will die down as it gets to that area. But that's the only prohibitor that I see, is the cold waters once it moves over them. So let's take a look at the GFS here, and I'm gonna refresh this, see if the 18Z is coming out. Bear with me here while my internet is very, very slow at the moment. Nope, the 12Z is the only latest version here. Alright. As you can see here, this is our system right in here. And it looks like it's like a 1009 millibars here by the looks of it. And here's the ridge of high pressure here. It looks like this bridge isn't that strong here, but that could be just me looking at it wrong. I'm not sure, but we're gonna go out of time, and as you can see, it is using the influence and the steer of that high pressure to make its way to the north and east as time goes by. And we ain't gonna go any farther than 120 hours out, because that is it's hard to predict things that are more than 5 days out. So this is where we're gonna steep it there. But yeah, you guys saw the storm. You know, there were some closed isotherms there. We're gonna go back again. Yeah, closed isotherms, and it looks like this system is gonna last about 40 to 48 hours before it gets sucked up into an extratropical system that is in Canada right now. So that's what it's going to be doing there, according to the GFS. Here is the European, and this is our system right here, and that's some pretty dark reds there. So it has some pretty decent cyclonic vorticity here as this starts to make its way, you know, to the east, northeast, and then to the northeast as time goes on. And here we go. Here's the bridge of high pressure here, and let's see what happens here. As you can see, the influence of the steer from the bridge is really handling this really well on both models. Yeah, 48 hours to 72 hours, it makes a pretty good movement change here. And now we're 125. This is pretty much the remnants of what is the subtropical depression 4 right here that got sucked into the system. And you know, for you guys living in the UK or Europe, might want to pay attention to this at 5 days out, because you guys might get hit with some pretty nasty stuff if this comes true. But yeah, that is all for subtropical depression 4 right now. If anything changes between now and the time I go to sleep, I might pop up with another video. I want to thank you guys for watching, and have a nice rest of your evening.